Eric Swallow is calling for more investigations and more hearings. He was just talking about how God is a woman during during some of his testimony that he was on right now. And now Nancy Pelosi is calling for a 9/11 style commission into the January 6th insurgency. So they're not going to stop talking about this at all, because this is the only card that they have. A lot of Americans are asking them, like, hey, you promised us a lot of stuff. Show us what you got. You're in power. You have the House. You have the Senate. You have the presidency. What can you do for the American people? And they're like, 9/11 commission on Donald Trump? Do you want that? And people are like, no, I don't want that. That doesn't interest me. What can you do for me? And the American people are asking that, and it's going to become more tumultuous as we move forward.
This is what I love about what the Democrats are doing right now. There's a lot of pundits on the left that they love projecting what's going on with Democrats onto Republicans. And it's funny because the Republicans don't do anything. You know what I mean? Like Mitch McConnell is, he what does he vote? Not guilty, but then complains Trump was guilty. It's like, clearly the dude's not doing anything. Republican leadership at this point is an oxymoron. But the Democrats like to claim the Republicans don't have any real policies. That's why they're not doing anything. The Democrats have no real policies. That's why all they keep doing is saying orange man bad. Well, after the orange man's gone, it's been a month. Seriously. And now they want to do a new commission. 9/11 style commission to investigate the Capitol breach is the next step. Oh, is it? But why? Impeachment's over. What's the point?
Yeah, the National Guard's still in D.C., right? I mean, I was there briefly, and I still saw they had all the fences and the barbed wire. It was the day of freezing rain. It looked absolutely miserable. I think that was the day that the verdict was announced. They're still there. They've still militarized the Capitol.
They're going to be there until March.
Yeah.
Like for what?
I heard they're going to be there longer, actually. So I can't remember who exactly tweeted this joke, but they said something about the National Guard they're now saying the National Guard will remain in D.C. until the fall. The fall of what?
I'd be so pissed if I was in the National Guard and they're like, you just need to stand out here by this barbed wire fence and sleep in the parking garage down the street.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
And share a bathroom, one bathroom with 5,000 other individuals.
One bathroom.
You know,
one
outlet.
They're still doing it.
Well,
so I don't know if exactly right now, but I remember the big controversy was they were making like 5,000 guardsmen take breaks or like sleep in a parking garage with one power outlet and 2 toilets. And then there was a big uproar. Oh, how dare they? And then like a week ago, they were like, yeah, they're still there. Like they never got them out. The news cycle just walked away and everyone forgot about these people. But I've heard from people who friends of friends of people in the Guard who say that they're extremely demoralized. It's But I mean, think about that. Demoralization has to be sweeping across this country, just across the board. And the issue with that is, I'm sure everyone's familiar with Yuri Bezmenov. He talked about, you know that
sort of
KGB agent.
I feel like I've seen that clip on YouTube.
It's sent 50 billion times to us all day, every day. But he talks about demoralization and what happens when people are completely demoralized and they feel like the system doesn't work anymore. There's no justice. Nancy Pelosi doing this commission is probably the stupidest and most deranged thing I've ever heard. To tell the American people at a time when the news report, I think it was Reuters, $1,400 checks will hold you over until July. Like, in what world will that be enough for anybody? But don't worry. I know you're all stressed. You can't pay your rent. The moratorium on evictions is going to be ending soon. We're going to see millions of evictions, but it's okay. Nancy Pelosi has promised a 9/11 style commission on several hundred people who stormed their way into the Capitol building. And while you're sleeping outside, you can rest easy knowing the full details of what happened on January 6th. It won't change anything in your life. It won't change who the president is. It won't give you any food, but it's the right ideology.
Hey there, hey, don't be all negative. At least the pharma industrial complex is going to have more profits with their insulin. You know, it's not all bad. So
why would they have more profits from their insulin?
Because of the rule that Biden overturned. But
you know what? That actually makes sense, because I was going to say they were going to have less profits, because once they evict the people who are diabetic and they can't have a refrigerator because they'll be living outside for their insulin, they'll die. So then how do they make up that loss of profits from the dead people? Jack the price back up. Yeah, Cuomo style.
Yeah, it's not all bad. The military-industrial complex is also going to be happy, as NATO just announced that they're not going to be leaving Afghanistan anytime soon today as well.
So thank the Lord. I was really worried. You know, I've long said when I see all these activists complaining about the military-industrial complex and American empire, and I'm like, who's going to bomb the kids if we don't do it? And then when Trump was the Abraham Accords bringing peace to the Middle East, thank our lucky stars.
How gauche of him, you know?
I know,
right?
Praise be to Biden, bringing in those drones and keeping us in Afghanistan. For what reason? I'm not entirely sure, but apparently they told us it needs to be done. Most of my life, we've been in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
More than half of my
whole life.
Yeah.
There's fathers and sons fighting alongside each other in Afghanistan.
So
it's the longest war in American history. Where does the money go? Where does the money go? Where does all the opium come from? The 90% of the world's opium, where does it come from?
It's a money toilet.
Yeah, and the stories that I've heard, because I've heard from a lot of soldiers that were over there, especially when it comes to we can't even talk about some of the stuff here that the soldiers caught, and soldiers were punished in the United States for exposing the abuse of children in Afghanistan and trying to stop it in Afghanistan. So it's just an absolutely horrible thing to be in there.
I understand you're hurting. And if this kind of stuff stresses you out, makes you angry. But did you know that Nancy Pelosi is putting together a 9/11 style commission on the people who stormed the Capitol?
Feels good, man.
See, he's laughing. He's laughing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same type of. We were just talking about the New York Times and their own navel gazing being constantly consumed by their own internal HR drama.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Congress is now constantly internally consumed by its own. Think about they spent their time trying to expel Marjorie Taylor Greene, impeaching the president, 9/11 commissions. It's all drama.
It's all reality TV.
It's just all internal HR matters,
dude,
basically within the government, as opposed to doing things. They've stopped being able to perform their function.
I almost want to run for office, and when people are like, "What do you stand for?" I just be like, "I'm going to just build a shed for this one guy. Just that's it. Huh. I'm gonna use all of my time to go just to local people's houses and help them with their chores. If you elect me, I will help you with your chores, because at least then your taxpayer dollars goes towards something productive." Because I can't tell you what these people are doing.
Right.
I might not be there to vote on whatever stupid garbage bill they're proposing, but I assure you this: if I ever did run, I'd literally just weed your garden, put up some fences for you, walk your dog, because then your tax dollars are at least getting you some public service, right?
I mean, how hard is it? This is the easiest government program ever. Just give people money.
Yeah.
They did it already. They know how to do it. They just write a check. They use whatever technology they did to put the money in your bank account.
Well, they even fumbled that, especially with even the first check.
Oh, yeah,
there was multiple trials. There was different layers. There was different time periods when people got their checks. So the government can't even send you a check correctly. What makes you think they should run your medical health care?
Right.
What makes you think that they should be in charge of anything in your life?
They were giving dead people money, and they were giving money to non-citizens overseas. Yeah. How does it happen that some dude in a different country wakes up the American government gave me money for some reason?
We have a social security number, all of us. It's so easy. They have the data. All they have to do is literally be like, okay, yeah, send them a check. Oh, live, dead check. That's it. They can't even they can't run the DMV. They can't run the post office. And guess what? All of government runs that way.
Preach.
Spend a few days, spend a few hours even at your local DMV, and imagine these central controllers wanting to control every aspect of your life. It would scare the bejesus out of you.
That's the one thing I don't get. The people who advocate for universal health care like Bernie Sanders does, do they not remember going to the DMV once?
Yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of problems that lead to government incompetence. And it gets back to the point I was making earlier. There's not a good way to punish them for lying. I think perhaps, there's two big disciplines on our public companies that and our regulatory system kind of works for this, right? The first discipline is they have to make money. And the second is they have to tell the truth every 3 quarters, or they risk, they don't always do it, but they're under a legal obligation to, and they have to file a report that's examined by, stock market investors.
I want public lashings. Yes. You're a politician, you lie, you have to go to the center of the city, and you get lashed by a random citizen who wins the lottery.
A constituent.
Yeah.
Is given the cat of 9 tails.
Yes. Yeah. And then you get to whoop the politicians in the buttocks for lying.
Yeah. I'll clarify, though, because
they do that in Somalia, by the way.
I said the people like Bernie Sanders because I actually would I personally would like some kind of universal basic health care. But Bernie Sanders wants to abolish private health care. I think so long as you have that competition and you have that choice, I think we'll be okay. Mm-hmm. But I also think before you can implement any kind of major social reform, you've got to weed out the corruption. And I think that's the biggest wall blocking legitimate social programs and social reform.
I mean, if you can't even give people $2,000 checks, how on earth are you going to do brain surgery on them? Government's not competent enough to do this. And
that's the problem is like when the programs first start, when the government first comes in, there's somebody with a decent idea that makes sense to a lot of people. But businesses have to fight to survive. They have to make sense. A business has to be able to generate revenue and profit to hire more people and grow. And if they can't, they collapse. Government, when they just can't do it, they just send more people with guns to collect more taxes and then pump more money into something that's not working.
Yeah.
So that's always been my thing. I like the idea of social programs. The problem is, well, the first question is, can they ever be implemented properly? Or is the issue, there needs to be an expiration date on all of them, period.
I mean, you have to think about how you use government and trying to like keep whatever it's doing within its core competency. Like when I think about, for example, what should big tech law look like? I'm advocating a bigger governmental role in regulating Twitter and Facebook, et cetera. Well, I'm like, okay, so we want civil rights style litigation that allows people to go to court and pursue their rights, like essentially sue the companies, because we have courts, they work, they know how to issue orders and get people to comply with them. Like that's a core competency of government. When you're saying, oh, government should literally run the healthcare system, you're way outside the government's core competency.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.